Thank you so much for coming. I know a few of you have been waiting for this project and you're happy it's finally here. So my name is Patty Watson. I will be handling communications during construction of the 98th Street and Gibson Boulevard intersection improvements. That's a mouthful. I'd like to ask two people who helped us get the money we needed for this project come up and say a few words. Councilor Clarissa Pena, come on up.
Are we required to come up here? So, good evening, everyone. How many people here are from the neighboring community? Raise your hand. Aren't you guys excited? Yes. You know, we did this project the other day, and it was for the Southwest Public Safety Center, and that was a collaboration with the state and the city, and, you know, really excited about it. And when I got there, because we've been working so long to try to get this, this intersection done, when I got there, I said, it's a really exciting project. We're going to have the APD, we're going to have fire, we're going to have all this. And I said, but a community member is going to come up to me and tell me, but what about the light at 98th and Blake? And here she is. So I just want to say, you know, thank you guys for all your patience. I know the intersection, it's just, the Southwest area has just gotten so, the population growth here, and you know, just the roads that we've had of we're just trying to play catch up in terms of signalization, stoplights, paving, new streets, curb, gutter. I think, you know, the partnership that we've had over the past few years, we've been able to make some strides. But this is one that really I know, there's a lot of people that I know who live nearby, and it's really turning into an intersection that can, you know, be a lot of issues around it. So I'm excited. I just want to thank everybody from the staff. You know, we've gotten the money from federal money, then it went down to the state, and then I know we used a lot of the city geo bonds to do that. So it's taken a while, because when you utilize federal money, it just requires so much more red tape, but we're finally here, and we're excited that you guys are going to get your street lights and all the improvements around that. So thank you guys.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm State Senator Michael Padilla. I've been the state senator here for about 12 years. And does anybody know where 4 Mile Road is by any chance? Anyone in the neighborhood? I used to live on that road. And also over here in the orchards, Councilor Pena, I made spaghetti for her one night, her and her husband, and a couple of our friends, and we had spaghetti one night. And just right over, you know, you could throw a football and probably hit my house from here. But I want you to know this is very important to me. When Councilor and others came to me and said they needed planning dollars to put the thing together originally, right away we were able to put that together, and then I know that a lot of other dollars had to come together to make this happen. I will say that this is just one of many projects that we have going on in our area. I'm very happy to tell you that I've secured, in addition to the money for this project, I did secure $107 million this year to replace the entire Rio Bravo Bridge. And so that bridge is going to have it's going to be brand new, both sides. There'll be walking trails, or walking passage, horse and animal passage, and then of course humans can actually walk across it as well, in addition to the directional in east and west traffic there. So that's one massive thing that you're going to see going on as well. There's going to be additional 3-lane, the 3-lane is going to stretch further into the bridge so that we can reduce, you know, the amount of traffic coming like that. But for projects like this, I also added us to something that we call a local roads package this year, and that means local and collector streets. Now, most of these streets in this area are fairly new, but for the southwest quadrant of Bernalillo County, which is where we are right now, I wanted to make sure that we had money to rebuild roads that have been there since, you know, President Truman was in office, for God's sake. Literally the exact same, the actual original road. And so, so we're in very good shape to see this thing move along. I'm very excited. I know that we have a lot of partnership that makes these things happen. I thoroughly enjoy working with our city councilor for this area. She and I work on a lot of projects together. I hope that you will continue to bubble up things that need to be fixed and repaired. I have a gigantic district. I go all the way to the East Mountains now. And so I can't be driving every single road all the time. And I know that I'm friends on Facebook and social media and this and that, or you can call the Roundhouse, or I'll leave a couple of my cards here in case you want my number or whatever. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? I'm very, very happy to help bring this thing to fruition and see this thing happen, because this is the fastest growing part of New Mexico right now. And I want to make sure that our people are safe and taken care of, okay? Thank you all very much.
Okay, well, as the slide says, basically, the purpose of the project is to increase safety, efficiency, and usability of this intersection for drivers, pedestrians, and I don't know how many of you have ever been brave enough to try to cross on foot, but and cyclists. So I'd like to introduce your construction project team. When I call out your name, if you just raise your hand. Logan Pax is the construction services and project engineer. Jill Cuppernell is the engineering division design project manager. Debbie Bauman is the acting engineering division manager. And Jennifer Morrow is the Deputy Director of the Department of Municipal Development. We also have an engineering firm that designed this, and we have Terry Doyle from Parametrics here today. And I don't think Zach, you're Zach too. Okay, that'll be fine. Okay. All right. We also have another engineering firm, WSP. We have Robert Ortiz. He will be the construction services engineer. And Ernest Archuleta, who's the resident engineer project manager. These folks oversee and work together to make sure the project is being built to specification and will deliver a quality product that works for you. And then Star Paving is the contractor, and actually David lives in this neighborhood, the project manager, David Espinoza, correct?
Yes. And
we also have Arturo Aragon, who's the project manager. And then finally, you have me. I'm Patty Watson. We specialize in construction communications, and so we'll be assisting the project team with getting information out to you. And then behind here, running the PowerPoint, is Hal. You met him at the sign-in desk. It's Hal Roberts. So I'm going to turn the presentation over to somebody who's been working on it since 2017. Jill, come on up.
Hi everybody. So I'm just going to go through the overall project. Thanks, Debbie. I'm going to go through the overall project. Like Patty said, I've been working on this project as a city employee since 2017. The initial project was to put in a new signal at the intersection, and it kind of grew from there as we started looking at the intersection as a whole and kind of the whole area. So we will be putting in a new rectangular rapid flashing beacon at the trail crossing, and then also doing some other intersection improvements. So some people may not know what an RRFB is. We actually looked at, knowing that the trail crossing was part of our project limit, this city has a bicycle and trail crossing guide that we utilize to determine treatments at crossings to make them safer, to make them more accessible. And given the number of lanes and speed on Gibson, it was determined that the rectangular rapid flashing beacon was an appropriate treatment to help people get across the road when utilizing the trail. So the project improvements will include extended medians. Again, like Patty said, if you are brave enough to cross that intersection in any direction, you'll notice there's no place for you to stop. So one of the improvements will be median refuge for pedestrians. So the medians will be extended, and they will have a refuge for pedestrians in the event that you cannot safely cross in the time that's allotted, or if you just don't want to cross in the time allotted. We're going to do reconstruction of the intersection. It is the original pavement that was put in when the road was put in. There's no permanent sub-base, subgrade, and so we will be making all of those improvements as well. We're going to connect the sidewalk where there are gaps. There are existing gaps on the southwest corner and the northeast corner, so we will be making sure that those gaps are filled and we have connectivity for our pedestrians and multimodal. And then we have lighting. Lighting is a big thing. This is a big intersection. It's quite dark at night, and so there will be additional lighting and then ADA accessible curb ramps. Again, as everyone's mentioned, this project has been around for a long time. There have been a lot of safety concerns due to the size of the intersection. There's a lot of speeding that happens, and particularly there are a lot of people who do not stop at the stop signs. And then just it's a busy and growing area. And so there's a lot of backups during peak hours and things like that. And so we're going to help remedy those issues with this project. So while we were designing this project, it was really important to understand how it would be constructed or how it could be constructed and what the impacts would be to the traveling public and to the people who live in the area. So in consultation with Councilor Cliff Zapena, we created a flyer that was sent out to 6,000 residents about 2.5 years ago and asked for their input on what they would prefer during construction. And so those options were to, well, I'll go through the response we got. So out of those 6,000 flyers, we got about 102 responses, and the overwhelming response was to fully close the intersection during construction. And then we had some people who preferred partial closure and some who requested that the intersection remain open during construction. We had done 98th and Blake previously, a few years prior, and we had done a partial closure there, but again, the scope of work at that intersection was a little bit different. So we felt that closing the intersection at 98th and Gibson was a good option. So based on those feedbacks, cost and safety were also a key component, and so closing the intersection during construction for those components in the construction, the reconstruction of the intersection, the installation of the ADA ramps, and then the equipment and foundations necessary for the signals, saves more than $1.3 million in construction costs, and will also save the project about 5 to 6 months if we had left the intersection open during construction. And as Patty said, Star Paving is the contractor who will be doing the construction of the intersection improvements. I personally worked with Star on several other city projects. They're great to work with. We have a good working relationship. We are anticipating construction will start in early April and will extend 10 months. Normal working hours for construction about 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., which could change depending on work that they're doing, but this is one of the things we have Patty on our team for, is to make sure that the public is informed if there are any changes to the construction schedule or anything like that. The project was designed to be constructed in 4 phases. Sometimes the activities within those phases will overlap, so it's not a single phase 1 is complete and phase 2 starts. They will overlap. Access to all of the businesses will remain as it is today during construction. And as everyone understands, construction is weather permitting. If we get some crazy weather that makes it unsafe for the workers to work, then we'll make that call to keep everyone safe. So, and with that, I think I get to turn it over to her.
We do want you to stay informed during construction, so we have a new project website. It went live today. It is 98th Street Gibson intersection.com. So you can log in anytime to that. You can look at construction updates. You can sign up for us to send you construction updates via email. You can ask questions. You can look at photos, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to introduce David Espinoza, who's going to take us through the phasing for the project, what's going to happen when.
Hello, my name is David Espinoza. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Star Paving. Is that better? Okay. My name is David Espinoza. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Star Paving Company, who will be constructing this project for the city of Albuquerque. With me is Arturo Aragon. He is the project manager for this also. So I'm going to hand this over to him. He's going to go through the first couple of phases of this project, and then I'll wrap up the last couple of phases, and we'll send you back over to Patty.
Hello, everyone. So phase one of the project has, got better? Sorry. We're a little bit soft-spoken in construction, I apologize. So phase one of the project is going to consist of setting up the traffic control devices and the detour routes for both pedestrian and vehicular traffic. During that portion, once everything's closed off, is when we're going to start doing all the demolition work, and then where the pedestrian passage is, we'll make sure to maintain at least one north-south and one east-west public or pedestrian crossing through the intersection. And obviously, to achieve that, we're going to be completing this work one corner of the intersection at a time. For us, the priority is the corner where the Walgreens is located, because there is a new sidewalk that we're going to have to tie into the existing sidewalk for pedestrian passage to be a lot safer through that area. Also taking place in phase one, we will do all the infrastructure for the new traffic signals, so all the underground electrical pole boxes, everything of that sort, and getting all that in place. And then, we'll also work on the medians and get all that, start getting formed and getting it placed as well. So during that phase two, we'll also start the reconstruction of the curb and gutter and the asphalt, and we'll just start putting everything back together. What do you want to take from there?
Okay, so with phase two, that'll be a lot of the repaving of the entire area. At that point, the infrastructure for the signalization and lighting should be in place. So when we move into phase three, it's really installing the signalization, getting the mast arms up, the light poles, things like that up, doing the needed testing in preparation for final striping, which will be phase four.
Could you go over how long each phase is supposed to last?
Sure. So currently, phase one is estimated to be about 6 months duration. It's the biggest phase. It has the majority of the work, the majority of the reconstruction and infrastructure installation. Phase two, which is majority of the paving and overlay work, that's estimated to take 2 months. Phase three, which is the final installation of the signalization, that is estimated to take 1 month. And then final striping and demobilization is anticipated to take 1 month.
Thank you. Just a couple of notes. Access to the Walgreens will stay open all the time, and also you may have noticed there's a P&M facility. That access will be open for safety reasons at all times. We are working with regard to the big complex, the Diamond Mesa complex. The west access will always be maintained except for about a couple of weeks during phase two, and we'll coordinate that with them. We've already been in touch with their management. Some of you may have noticed there's a new development on the corner, and that's Wilder, and they're building a new Allsops, and we've also been coordinating with them. Pedestrian access, as they said, will be maintained with at least one north-south and one east-west crossing always provided. So we work very hard to ensure you get your mail, you can put your trash out, the buses run on time, the school buses run on time. So we'll be coordinating with all of those agencies. But that said, if anything happens, please get in touch with me or with Hal immediately. We pretty much know how to get those issues resolved. So if you're noticing you're having problems with your mail or your trash or even a bus, let us know. So we're going to turn this over to questions. Hal's going to go down there and he'll turn on the mic, and if anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer them. We're going to ask you to go to the microphone so we can all hear you. Or Hal can even bring it to you if you're really nice.
How far will the lighting go back?
Anybody? How far will it extend in each direction? How far will it extend in each direction?
So it should extend through the full project limit.
Jill, could you? I know. Come on up.
So lighting will extend through the project limits. There was a previous Southwest Mesa lighting project that happened with the traffic engineering as part of the city, and that put in some additional lighting on 98th Street, and I believe Gibson, but this will actually do the intersection approach lighting, so it'll be kind of that full length of the project.
Who else? Anybody else have questions?
Hey, good evening.
You could hold it up.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Number one is will it be possible to get a police officer or some kind of traffic control at Deanza and 98th, particularly in the morning? Because if that's going to be the detour route, that is a 2-lane street that's going to dump out on the 98th, which means it's going to collect all the traffic for those neighborhoods. And it's going to be extremely difficult to get out on the 98th in the
Okay.
morning.
We can't guarantee it, but we will try to coordinate with the police to see if we can get someone out.
Yeah, if that would just happen in the mornings, that would be the biggest thing.
Okay? What else?
Number two, when all this project is done, and I'm glad to see it, are we going to have additional police enforcement in this area? Anybody who lives over here knows that there is a drag racing issue, a speeding issue, an ATV side-by-side issue, and the traffic light there is going to invite that area to act as an NHRA-style drag racing tree. And when it goes from red to green, guys are going to be taking off from that light, particularly going on north on Gibson, and use that as a drag strip. We all know every intersection in the area has donut marks, wheel marks, ATV marks, whatever. And we're going to need some additional enforcement out here in order to keep up with it, especially when they build the store there, because that's going to be a collection point for anybody who wants to be stupid.
Can we hand the microphone over to Councilor Pena? She would bravely volunteer to answer your question.
So I mentioned it earlier, I kind of just glided over it because I figured everybody here really wanted to hear about the intersection of 98th and Gibson, but if you all heard, on 98th and Amole Mesa, we're actually putting in a public safety center, and this was a project with the state and the city, and it's going to have a substation, we're going to have a fire station, and then I think the second phase, we're actually going to have a multi-gen center. So we just broke ground, and I think construction for that is anticipated to be about a year and a half. So we're a police substation, yes. Yes, so we got your message about Deanza, so thank you.
Who else? Here, we've got, okay, we'll get to you in just a minute. Okay, if you could hold the microphone close to your face.
I usually attend the Westgate Neighborhood Association, and I was wondering, you said that there were 6,000 flyers sent. Someone mentioned there were 6,000 flyers sent out. I live west of Walgreens in one of the communities, and I never received that information, especially during the planning stages. So I didn't find out until later, but the meeting was already done.
I know they use the post office every door delivery. I apologize if you didn't get it. I know that it was sent
Maybe
out.
my neighbors didn't get it.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, construction is planned, but next time we use the post office, we'll see what we can do to be a little more accurate.
Yeah, because I can't post on those post office cluster boxes. I can't post on the light posts. I can't post on the street signs, the stop signs.
And we can't put construction flyers in mailboxes or we'll be hauled off to jail. I know, there are lots of rules.
Yeah, and
But
for me, my concern is trying to get out on 98.
Okay.
On Gibson. One more on Gibson going down, and I'm going to have to use the back roads, and
Okay.
I'm not too sure how you guys are going to direct the cones.
We'll have detour signage up and there will be barricades, but our numbers are on this PowerPoint and you've got a handout. Call me or Hal if you're having problems and we'll work with you, okay?
And those dots in the road are coming from the west side of Walgreens. They were placed in there because of the racing, and they made it to one lane. So are they going to remove that, or they're going to be left as is?
I will ask her. Are we leaving the dots by Walgreens to cut down
It's
on?
those things on the ground.
I'm not sure what the design, they're little, I think they're,
Are they little raised pavement markers? So that's. So, where it shows on the map, actually.
yeah, come on up.
Right here, all of this darker color of gray, that's all the pavement surface. So anything within these limits here, that's all getting repaved. So anything that's there, those raised pavement markers, those are coming out.
Yeah, it used to be a 2-lane each way on Gibson.
It's more west of that, so it's right out of yours.
It would be out of our scope.
And so I didn't realize they placed that on.
Okay. This lady here, oh,
My question is also regarding the detour part of the construction. Just like going on the ANSA, are they going to be maybe placing a 4-way stop because there's almost impossible crossing that? But my main concern, and I don't know if there's anybody here from the Solare school that is on Barbados. Did you see it right there? There's a school right there. My son used to go there. And in the morning during drop-off, there's going to be a lot of kids crossing Barbados, just like there's a lot of kids crossing right now.
okay.
98 from Gibson. Those are the brave ones that cross those intersections. But yeah, my concern is because Barbados is a very, very small street.
Yes, it is.
And during pickup, we park on the street if you go during pickup time, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be adding to that traffic that is detoured, my main concern is the kids.
Understand. We'll certainly be aware of that. And if you are noticing a problem, you need to let us know sooner rather than later because we work to solve problems. We don't want anybody in danger, but please let us know. And if we need to adjust, we will.
I was just going to mention, I have a good relationship with the leadership at that school, and I'll make sure that they know all about it and that they can interact with you. Because they should proactively be doing this. Let's not wait till after we've started. I'm going to get them with you right away.
And we've been in touch with them too.
Oh, you have already.
Yeah. But if you see anything that's concerning you, please reach out to Hal or I. These people on the construction team will get really tired of hearing from us. It pretty much happens every construction project, but if we don't know something's happening, we can't address it. So please, let us know sooner rather than later.
Yeah, on the detour.
On the detours going from Gibson and 98, is it going to be a one-way around the detour to back onto either 98 or Gibson?
I don't believe so. No, we're maintaining the current traffic pattern in those streets. Unfortunately, as you know, there aren't a lot of detours in this area. Yeah. So I know that the construction team really planned the detours to try to minimize the inconvenience, for example, not having one end at somebody's driveway or something like that.
Is Walgreens on the top left there? On the slide there? And the gas station on the right?
Walgreens is
Right there. Okay. I just want to make sure the detour like you have up there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Okay.
Has there been any discussion about also putting a light at the end of 98?
Who wants to answer that one? Don't all volunteer at once. Do you know if there's been any discussion about a light? We'll send it to Jill.
Yeah.
So there's not been discussion specifically about a light at Dianza. However, I am working on a project that's currently in design that is looking at not only 98 and Benavides, but also Dianza as well, and also some improvements near DeVargas. So it's very preliminary. It's in early design phases, and we're working with the consultant on that to determine what the best improvements are for those areas. So it is in the works.
Let's let everybody have a chance to ask their first question, and we'll circle back to you. Somebody over here? Okay, we'll make sure we get to everybody.
Thank you. My name is Ernie Escobar. I am the Southwest Community Policing Council Chair for this area. And we meet once a month. And in our meetings, we do discuss the crime in our city in the Southwest area. Our commanding officer, Commanding Officer Rene Barraza is present, and he provides all of the statistics and what's going on in our area as far as crime. And I believe in our last meeting, he did announce that there were 3 officers, I believe, in training that graduated, 3 cadets that were assigned to this area. So they're working on it. I mean, they're at least moving forward. But I will definitely take, any concerns that anybody has tonight about drag racing, about doing the donuts, about the crime. We meet once a month at the library on Central, and it is a hybrid meeting, so Zoom is also an option. And if anybody's interested in attending our meetings or even joining the CPC Council for the Southwest area, let me know after tonight's meeting. But definitely, we are very concerned about the crime in our area. We live off of 98 and Dennis Chavez. Just the other night, 5 in the morning, I called 911 because I heard like 6 gunshots. And so they sent out a police officer. I can speak with the police officer, but it just so happens it was that same morning that they arrested the killer that killed the police officer in Albuquerque. He was walking around in our area. So safety is definitely an issue in our area. And during our CPC meetings, we do discuss that with our commander, and we do have other officers that are present to answer any other questions. But if you have any questions about the Community Policing Council, please let me know. I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think the lady in the purple shirt, right? Okay, we're heading your way.
I live off of 118.
Can you hold this up too?
I live off of 118 and Dennis Chavez. I'm off of Cenote. But I'm concerned that the traffic is going to have to be rerouted to go up to, Rio Vista or whatever, to get out of that whole 98 situation. I mean, what is the plan for the traffic? I'm still not clear on your traffic flow.
Okay.
Because we have lots of people that are going down 98 to go to the freeway on 40 to go to work, or so can you?
Well, we designate detour routes, and I can tell you that we designate them, but we don't mandate them. And the reason that we don't mandate is then all the traffic then immediately overwhelms that. I don't know if we've looked upstream or downstream. We will be monitoring traffic during the construction, and if it becomes a problem, then we'll obviously have to address it. But there isn't a plan, to my understanding, for that. What normally happens, since I've been doing this for 20 some odd years, some people just decide they're going to live with the detours and give themselves time and be cranky. Some people try to speed through, and there will be people trying to cut through roads they shouldn't, and if that's happening, we'll try to put up signage and mitigate it. Some people will just find an alternate route, and we don't know, it varies by project, but a good percentage usually just decide this isn't worth the hassle, I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, if that somewhere else is the route you're talking about, then we'll need to make adjustments.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody? Okay. And then we need to go back to the gentleman with the suspenders. Very, very natty dresser back there.
Yes. I've been reading, the news before and the social media comments. If the light doesn't work, what is the consideration of like a roundabout that they did like in the North Valley? would that work if the lights don't work?
Jill, do you want to address that? Light versus roundabout. Oh. Okay.
Hi there. We have a lot of discussions about roundabouts, and those are actually one of my favorites, and we try to look at those on all of our projects when we go into them. Signalized intersections actually move more traffic than a roundabout does, so it's kind of step one is usually stop signs. Step two, if we have the right of way, is a roundabout, and step three would be a signalized intersection. So with the amount of traffic here, we're probably already at step three that we need to go to a signalized intersection. And a roundabout also requires a lot of property, so there may have been some constraints in that part as well. But the signalized intersection will carry more traffic than a roundabout will.
Thank you. And this gentleman with back here. He had second round of questions, the gentleman in the suspenders. Oh, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Anybody else? I'd like to encourage you to go to the website and sign up for construction updates. There's a form right there. We also have a comment form on the website. You can send suggestions, questions, whatever. You can call us. Believe it or not, we do pick up our phone. It always startles people that they don't get one of those phone trees during normal business hours. You can always contact us. You can email us. We will get back to you. Our goal is to get back with you same day. Latest we ever try is 2 business days, but we really try for same day. And people who've worked with me know that I do that. So we want to minimize the inconvenience. There's no such thing as a project of this magnitude with no inconvenience. But I think as anybody who's ever driven or tried to walk this intersection knows, it's going to be a huge improvement. And we appreciate your patience while we got all our ducks in a row in the design and the funding. And please don't be a stranger. Reach out if you have anything. Get in touch with Hal, get in touch with me. And thank you very much for coming. And please grab cookies on your way out because we do not need them at my office.